Hello everyone, this is Tim from Arcana, and today we're starting a new series, the MEVO White Belt Training Series. Now, the goal of this new series is to get you able to pass the MEVO White Belt exam, which is kind of our new training program that we're introducing with our MEVO product line. In addition to this playlist, I am planning on making a new set of lab videos to walk you through getting MEVO set up from start all the way to deploying, doing a zero-touch provisioning of a remote site. So once that is done, I highly recommend you also check it out in order to supplement the learning that you're going to be having here. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Today's topic will be the absolute basics, the components and architecture of MEVO. MEVO, or ManageExpress Virtual Office, simply put, is automation software. For the purposes of the training, we are going to be focusing on MEVO as a tool to do zero-touch provisioning of remote sites and real-time device monitoring. However, we might also touch up on what MEVO can do to automate devices past their deployment, which MEVO can do through smart templates. So these are templates that can use variables, they can use conditional logics such as if statements. These templates can leverage user input variables, system variables. It's very, very flexible in how you can set these up. So we'll spend a whole video just on templates by themselves. The other thing that makes MEVO kind of unique is it's multi-vendor. So we can do Cisco edge devices and Cradlepoint edge devices, for example. And MEVO can extend past the edge device. So if you need to configure or set up maybe a switch that's connected to your router that we're provisioning or a wireless access point, all of that MEVO can do. Now, MEVO is an on-prem solution. It is software, and it runs on a Windows server. We use it as a web application, so it uses IIS, and you can access your MEVO web page. Usually we use Chromium-based browsers, so that would be Chrome, Edge, or Brave, but you can also use Safari or Firefox as well. Let's go ahead and jump into one of our example topologies, and this will be one of the main topologies that we're going to use for this training exercise. You can see the remote site on the left, and on the right-hand side, you can see a couple different data centers that we're trying to get this remote site to connect to. Now, for the purpose of the training, I've mentioned that we can provision multiple devices past the edge, but we're going to keep it really simple. We're just going to focus on that spoke device. So we're not going to pay attention to anything else. Let's focus on the data center side of things. On the far right side, you can see there's the MEVO ManageExpress Virtual Office server. You can also see one of our main components is going to be a Cisco ICE server. That is also going to be sometimes called our PKIAAA server. If you move a little bit to the left, then we have our DMZ section. So that is our SDPCA server. That is a router, and its primary job is to facilitate the zero-touch provisioning of your remote sites. The second type of router that will be present in your DMZ area are your hub routers. This is the actual VPN termination point that connects the spoke router back to your data center. Now, when it comes to routing, addressing, and traffic flow, the MEVO server and the ICE server only need private IP addresses. The SDP router and the hub router will both need public addresses. If you ask me what the most important thing to take away from this video is, just know all the different components. So the MEVO server, the ICE server, the SDPCA server, and the hub router, and know the high-level function of each one. So let's do a quick review. The MEVO server is software. It is a web application run via IIS. It is on-prem. The automation engine that MEVO uses is called the OpsXML server. So if you see OpsXML, for example, if you go into your Windows server and open up your task manager and view all the processes that are running, if you see something that says OpsXML, that is us. That is the MEVO server. MEVO will also require the use of a SQL database. When you install MEVO, especially for a small lab environment, you can download a version from our website that comes with SQL Express bundled with it. But if you're running this in a production environment, if you're running this with lots and lots of spokes and not just, one or two, you'll want a fully licensed SQL server. The SDP device is a Cisco router. It can be a virtual router, such as a CSR, or it could be a physical router, such as an ISR 4000 series device with a security license. The SDP has two main functions. One is to facilitate that zero-touch provisioning process, and the second is it is your certificate authority. So it manages all the certificates that we'll be using to secure our VPN tunnels. Our third component is our ICE server, our Identity Service Engine. This provides two main roles for us. One is NAC, so Network Access Control. But the main reason why we use ICE is for PKIAAA. This is essentially our replacement for CRL checking for our certificate environment within the context of the MEVO solution. We'll have a whole video that goes over how the PKIAAA works. So if we say your PKIAAA server, that is synonymous with your Cisco ICE server. This is a separate download. It is a separate server that you get from the Cisco website. Under the hood, it is a Linux box. And then last but not least are our hub routers. All you really need to know at this point is our hub routers are the VPN termination point. So this is where your spoke routers will connect back to in order to have their traffic routing back to our data center. This is the only true potential failure point within the MEVO architecture, meaning when we talk about network access from the remote site back to the corporate network, if the hub router fails, then that can cause network downtime. Anything else, so the SDP router, MEVO, or the ICE server, if any of those fail, you will not notice anything. And luckily, the hub router is also the easiest thing for us to build redundancy and to build high availability into. So that is not something we need to be worrying about. A quick note before we wrap up this video is on the automated certificate management of MEVO. One of the challenges of zero-touch provisioning and establishing these VPN tunnels is getting those certificates loaded on both devices so that that tunnel can establish. MEVO automates and takes care of this whole thing for you, and we are able to support a CA that's built locally on the Cisco device, as well as integrate with an ISC-based environment or a Microsoft NDES-based environment as well. We can do RSA certificates, and we can also do EC certificates. MEVO also handles the certificate renewal cycle as well, and we have a lot of alerts that are used to keep us on track to make sure that our certificates are never going to expire on us. And that's about it for this video. We've covered all the main components of MEVO. So in future videos, we'll go over DMVPN, specific MEVO features, and of course that zero-touch provisioning process. If you have any questions, let us know.